Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Joshua RSA, Joshua Reviews, Movies, and More. And today I have a video for you, a Marvel update, in which I haven't done in quite a while. I am so sorry for the absence. I've just been doing a lot. I'm over here in Costa Rica right now, a very impromptu trip. I'll be back to the U.S. by Saturday. But I thought that I'd come on here, do a quick video, keep you all updated. Obviously, a lot has gone down since my last video. Robert Downey Jr. has been announced as Doctor Doom, which is, I'm so sorry for not making a video on that. I watched Deadpool and Wolverine, which I'll be doing a mini review at the end of this video. I've just been doing a lot, and there's been a lot of things coming out, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at some of that today. Yeah, we're going to be sort of recapping a bit of D23, you know, obviously San Diego Comic-Con and my theories on everything that was announced. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. I'll be looking at a screen here with all the news, so apologies if I do not make eye contact. It's because I am looking at a screen. And I apologize for the noise in the background. It's just all the birds and mosquitoes and everything. It's a tropical rainforest, so there's just going to be a lot. So please do me a favor and, you know, scrolling down below and subscribing. The topic of discussion down today will be the news that I share, and I have a agree-disagree that I'll be doing at the end of this video, if I can remember. We'll debate that in the comments. But let's go ahead and get into the news, which is Vincent D'Onofrio says Daredevil Born Again will go much further with the violence than Netflix's Daredevil. He goes on to say, there's one thing in particular that my character does that I can't believe made it into the cut. That is coming from an interview from Rotten Tomatoes. I think, having seen a little bit from the leaked trailer that came out after D23, and seeing sort of the action that is incorporated in that trailer, I am not going and saying that I disagree or I don't believe that what Vincent D'Onofrio is saying here. But what I am saying, and what I am sort of just leaning back a little bit, is one, he's promoting his project. Two, this is a Disney project, although rated TV mature. I just don't know. You see in Deadpool and Wolverine that they sort of also hold back a little bit. But I am very, very still much looking forward to this show, and I really, really hope what Vincent D'Onofrio here is saying is true, because I want that show to be just as good as the original, because, you know, I love Daredevil and Charlie Cox and Matt Murdock and everything within that world. So it's going to be really fun to sort of jump back into it and see what story Marvel Studios has to offer. So it's going to be really, really fun to see what's in store. So Anthony Mackie has teased the massive cast of Avengers Doomsday, which was announced at San Diego Comic-Con. He goes on to say that Civil War was so big, and then Endgame was so huge. You know, I'm interested to see where it goes, and I'm interested to see where the Russo brothers are going to take us into it. I think, you know, with movies like Infinity War and Endgame, they're so unbelievably massive, and they're landmarks in cinema history, although they may just be comic book movies. To get that many actors available and to get that many actors on a set and to really make that movie work, it's just something really out of the ordinary. And I think with Avengers Doomsday, they're going to sort of have a way to make it work, because they did it with Infinity War and Endgame. And I'm just really, really excited to see what they do with those Avengers movies. We'll talk about the Robert Downey Jr. casting fairly shortly. I have a few more things to show you here that's come out of San Diego Comic-Con, D23, etc. So Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which is an animated Disney Plus series, is reportedly set to release on Disney Plus in November. I'm personally looking forward to this. We have Coleman, is it Domingo, who is voicing Norman Osborn. I'm just excited to see where this show goes. I know that it is a sort of a what if series to Tom Holland's origin in the MCU, although Tom Holland won't be playing this iteration of Spider-Man, which I think is quite weird considering we haven't seen him or even heard his voice since No Way Home, and that's been 3 years. So it's very, very interesting and very, very intriguing to see where they'll end up going with this show, and seeing how they're going to incorporate the sort of what-if version of this character that we all know and love, which is Spider-Man. I know that they are going to sort of take a certain approach to Norman and Peter's relationship, like how Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark was to him, and obviously Homecoming and so forth and so forth and so forth. So we'll see how that goes, and I'm going to go ahead and get into my next bit of news here, which is a Marvel animation project is reportedly being developed to have a theatrical release. It says here, Marvel Animation is reportedly developing an unknown film set for a theatrical release. This is coming from the Cosmic Circus. I am so unbelievably excited to see where it goes with X-Men 97. It was so unbelievably good and so unbelievably consistent. I'm just very, very intrigued to see where they sort of take it beyond X-Men 97 and with other characters. And obviously in the post I put an X-Men 97 picture. I would love to see a X-Men 97 spin-off film with those characters, but who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. Marvel Animation and Marvel Studios, they seem to be knowing what they're doing with their animated shows recently. And we'll talk about another animated project here soon. But I do have some Spider-Man 4 news, which is that it may not release until July 2026. Again, also coming from the Cosmic Circus. I don't know what to make of this. What I really, really want to see is for them to take it seriously. And if they do end up taking it seriously, and this is the reason as to why it's been delayed for so long, I'll be intrigued. Obviously, at the end of No Way Home, we see the symbiote sort of get left behind by Tom Hardy's Venom. So we're just going to have to wait and see how that story just sort of continues into Spider-Man 4. Peter's in college now. You have to take some new approaches to the character. And obviously, Kevin Feige came out a few days ago in an interview stating that they will most likely move away from John Watts, as he's currently busy with other projects, and be looking for a new director. Obviously, those directors that have been reported out there have been the likes of Sean Levy and so many others. So it's really too many to count. So I would personally like to see Sean Levy take the helm. He says that it's his favorite comic book character in general, his favorite superhero. So it'll be interesting to see his take. And maybe with that, we'll be able to see a sort of Deadpool cameo in that movie. That would be cool if Ryan came on set and sort of was able to work that character into a PG-13 setting. Because obviously Spider-Man 4 is most likely going to be PG-13. There's no way they're going to make it rated R unless Sean Levy really pushes for it. But yeah, I'm excited for Spider-Man 4, but we're just going to have to wait a little bit longer to see that sort of happen. But we got some She-Hulk concept art released at D23, I can't remember who was hosting the event or who had the mic at the time, but they said that this is the most expensive hug in TV history, which, I mean, it is. She-Hulk, in my opinion, was just an abomination and something that should have been taken a lot more seriously. And they sort of made it into this thing that it laughs at itself in the show, but then the fans ended up laughing at it, and it ended up being a huge backfire for them. So I hope that we don't really see much more of that character, because that show and those writers just made her so unlikable in her own show, which I don't even know how you do. But yeah, look, the concept art here is oh, okay. It says down here, this is the most expensive fucking TV history. It's not someone who actually was on stage. I wasn't at D23, so I don't really know. I was just copying and pasting things I was seeing on Twitter being announced, and just. By the way, if you guys want to have consistent updates, Twitter's the way to go. Like, you can literally scroll down below in the description and follow me on all my social medias. I'm most consistent on Twitter, and Instagram comes to a close second, and Threads comes to a close third. So go ahead and follow me on there, and I also have a Facebook, but I don't leave it in the description because I don't post on it really that much. Here's another Spider-Man related delay, I guess, which is Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse will reportedly not be released for another 2 to 3 years. I reached out to Andrew, co-host of the Escape Pod podcast, and he responded that it may suck, but that means that they're taking their time and they're making it great. So the more it gets delayed, the more they have time to work on it. And I'm just trying to keep the same mentality that I am with the Russos and RDJ coming back to the MCU, just have an open mind. Obviously, Across the Spider-Verse was one of my favorite movies of 2023, probably my most favorite of 2023. I ended up watching Oppenheimer. That wasn't until early this year. Yeah, I just really, really hope that the sequel pays off to Beyond the Spider-Verse, to Across the Spider-Verse, even though technically this movie is supposed to have already been released. It was supposed to release in March of this year. The strikes happened, it got pushed back, and they're just currently still working with things on the story and the actors to make sure that it comes out right. So I'm excited. A lot of other people are excited. So we're just gonna have to wait and see how that turns out. I'm gonna put Wade in here. I'm gonna put my Deadpool cup right here. So, Marvel Studios is reportedly working on a special presentation for Man-Thing. I did not watch Werewolf by Night, so I do not have an opinion on this, but I know that a lot of people liked it. A lot of people found it a bit odd. Man-Thing is a character that is obviously iconic in so many, genres, and it'll be interesting to see what they do with that character. But I haven't watched Werewolf by Night, so like this picture that I posted here, I don't know what's happening, but it's what I found online. So we're gonna just go with that. There is a possibility of Chris Evans returning to the MCU. Obviously as Steve Rogers, this is coming from the Cosmic Circus. Again, look, he did such a great job in Deadpool and Wolverine as Johnny Storm. And I just really hope that we're able to sort of see him sort of just come back into that character, Captain America, and just take it by storm. We've been having reports for years that Marvel Studios was making a Disney Plus series in regards to Steve Rogers taking back the stones after Endgame. But obviously that announcement never came. So look, I think Chris Evans is a great actor. Robert Downey Jr. is coming back as Victor Von Doom, and he's also going to be coming back as Iron Man in a Disney, I believe it's a Disneyland amusement park. So I'm intrigued to see that, but I do not live in California. I live in Florida, so hopefully they do something at Disney World. But look, that is all the news I have as of right now. I also have that Charlie Cox came out and said that, there will be a sort of collision of characters from the MCU and Daredevil Born Again. I'll play the clip right here.
Chance we're going to see some crossover of some of those characters coming into this show in this season.
There's a couple of small fun moments, yeah, of collision, but nothing major.
Of what?
Of collision.
Oh, collision.
Yeah, I don't know. I use that word when characters come together, but I don't want to oversell anything there and get people too excited. The real stuff is in this room. Right?
Just say no, Charlie. Just say no. No, nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing exciting.
And then I'm gonna now be giving a mini review of Deadpool and Wolverine. And then I'll be talking about, the RDJ casting and so much, because I'll be giving my quick thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine. So if you just came here for the news bit, you can leave now. Just leave a like on the video and dip out. But look, Deadpool and Wolverine, it's probably my favorite movie of the year. I cannot believe what they do with that character and that movie, and the opening sequence is just so unbelievably good, and it's so unbelievably amazing. The Bye 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 song has taken the world by storm once again after 20 years, and it has become popular and all over TikTok, and I guarantee you NSYNC and Justin Timberlake and everyone is super happy with that movie and how it came out, because Nick Pauli, who did the choreography in that scene, did an amazing job. Ryan gives him props every single time it's brought up. So I love Deadpool and Wolverine. I would probably give it, I've been having trouble with this one, it's between 8 or 9 out of 10, just based off enjoyment. If we're talking about a movie itself and its story, it'd probably have to be a 7. This movie is sort of a mess. I would have liked to see more flashbacks with the variant of Wolverine that we go on this journey with. I would have loved to get more into depth as to what happened with his variation of the X-Men. We sort of get it in that scene with spoilers, obviously, for Deadpool and Wolverine, but we get that a bit of that dialogue between Daphne Keene's Laura X-23 and Hugh Jackman's Logan, or Wolverine, and they sort of go about and try to make it make sense, and they just sort of leave it there. And the rest of the movie, in terms of action and the score by Rob Simonson, is great, and everything, and the cameos are fantastic, which I'll get into in a minute. But the story, as a cohesive story, I would say it's one of the better stories within recent years in the MCU, but it's definitely messy in a lot of ways, and they definitely could have polished it a lot better, and sort of just made it make sense. Because if you really think about it for 2 seconds, this movie doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. It's awesome. It's fun. You're gonna have a fun time with it. I cannot wait to watch this movie time and time again. But I won't be paying attention to the story because it just, maybe it'll be better on rewatch, but I haven't seen it again. I've only seen it once. But those are my sort of thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine. I loved it. It's great. It's one of the better MCU movies to come out in the past 3-4 years. But the story is just a bit left to be desired. But in terms of the cameos in Deadpool and Wolverine, spectacular. It was great. Channing Tatum finally gets his chance to star as Gambit, and he knocks it out of the park. Every single time you scroll up on TikTok, you see a meme of Channing Tatum's Gambit. And
I'm about to make a name for myself here.
Who is your dialect coach? The Minions?
it is so unbelievably cool and so unbelievably fascinating just to see that character come to life on screen. Obviously, they do him justice in X-Men 97, but in this iteration, they just make him this sort of goofball, but they also make him a total awesome dude, and it was just so cool to see. You can't understand a single word he says, though, besides a few lines of dialogue. I get that it is the Cajun accent, and that's sort of what it is meant to be. That's the joke, that he sort of has the dialogue of the Minions. But they did a great job. Jennifer Gardner as Elektra, Wesley Snipes' Blade, who had the immense amount of aura in that movie. It was just so crazy. It was so cool to see him back. You know, there's only been one Blade. There's ever only going to be one Blade. It's such an iconic line in the MCU now. Mostly because Mahershala Ali is probably looking at that and being like, well, you're probably not wrong at this point. So, it is what it is. But yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine, I'll probably give an 8 or 9 out of 10 out of pure enjoyment. And then as a story itself, like a 7 out of 10. It's just, it's not great, but it's fun. So, it's fun. And Hugh Jackman gives the performance of a lifetime in this movie as Wolverine. So, it was really, really fun to see that. And to sort of see Sean and Ryan give Hugh something to really play with in this iteration of character. Not, you know, because obviously we don't know what's going to happen in the future in terms of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. So that may have been the last time we saw him. That may not be. I don't know. But he was given a great send-off once again.
Well, nothing. I don't really know what to say. I'm so happy that you are happy and gratified and proud of your work.
I am.
Because we marvel at your work. We watch it time and again, and we say lines alongside you, and we marvel at the moments that you craft. It's just, what a blessing to do it together.
Like, I can't wait to see it again. I cannot wait to see this with an audience. I cannot wait for the fans to see this. It's just like heroin in their eyeballs, like shot.
That should be the subtitle. Deadpool and Wolverine, heroin in your eyeballs.
Just
oh, yeah.
right in there.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so happy you're happy.
Now, 1 second. So unbelievably sorry. Woo. It's hot in my house, so just bear with me. Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. We're going to be talking about that. So, I was sitting on the couch, reporting everything that was coming out of D23. We were getting stuff about Captain America Brave New World, you know, images of Harrison Ford as the Red Hulk and everything. And obviously out of D23, we got the trailer for the Thunderbolts, in which I'll be sharing the images up on screen. And yeah, so I was just reporting everything that was coming out of San Diego Comic-Con. And then the news dropped that Avengers Doomsday was going to be coming in July 2026 with the Russos, Anthony and Joe Russo, coming back to direct, and Robert Downey Jr. set to not reprise his role, but to come back into the MCU as this new character as Victor Von Doom. It is not a Tony variant. They have made that clear. It is Victor Von Doom. It is Robert Downey Jr. who will be playing, you know, that character. So I'm just sort of intrigued to see where it goes. But yeah, on stage, Robert Downey Jr. said this quote that really stuck out to me, which was, he said, "What can I say? I love playing complex characters." And then he said, "New mask, same task." Obviously, in the MCU, Tony Stark's motivation was to make a better world, you know, to make a world in which would be amazing for everyone. And it didn't matter how that came about, and which led to the creation of Ultron. And then in that, he said, hold up, I'm gonna do it one more time. And he made Vision, right? So, and I apologize if the audio is echoing, but I'll see if I can sort of try and squeeze it in post. Listen. I hope that they do a fantastic job with this. I really do. It's just something that needs to work in order for it to pay off. I've talked with so many fans of the comics, of the MCU in general, and they're against it. But at the same time, they're sort of letting them, just let them cook, right? It's like with the Fantastic Four, and you know, with Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic, everyone's just sort of on the edge about that. But when they saw the leaked trailer come out of San Diego Comic-Con and D23 and everything, they're like, okay, we can get this a shot. So we're just gonna have to wait and see as to how they're gonna tackle it. And obviously, Avengers Secret Wars also announced at San Diego Comic-Con. Unbelievable, cannot wait. It is such a cool way to wrap this sort of multiverse saga, but then again, the multiverse saga hasn't necessarily been great. This dude literally pokes fun at it, like, you know, the multiverse saga hasn't necessarily been great. This dude literally pokes fun at it, like, almost every single chance he gets in Deadpool and Wolverine. So, look, they're gonna have to make it work. And if they do, Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, easily one of the best movies of all time. Because if they made that work, they're gonna make everything else work. So I'm just excited for it. I should probably just take the straw out because it looks weird. But I left my head pool attachment back home, so really sucks. But look, they're gonna make it work. I have trust in them. I have trust in the Russos. They've made 4 or 5 of the best movies in the MCU. I can't remember. Winter Soldier, Civil War, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame. So yeah, 4. They made 4 of the best movies in the MCU, so I'm just really trying to hold out on the hope. But we're gonna go ahead and end the video, and I'm going to do a quick disagree or agree, which is, and you guys can discuss this in the comments and give your fully fledged thoughts on it, which is, will Captain America Brave New World be better than Captain America the Winter Soldier? My honest opinion is no, given the reshoots, but I'm very curious as to see what everyone else thinks. But, you know, because obviously that trailer just looks awesome. But, and you know, Giancarlo Esposito's playing Sidewinder, which was also announced at San Diego Comic-Con, so we're just gonna have to wait and see how that turns out. Harrison Ford as Red Hulk. It's just gotta be great, right? It has to. And if not, screw Marvel Studios. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'll catch you on the next video. Thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe, leave a like, share with friends. And I'll catch you on the next video. Take care and peace, which is something I haven't said in a very long time. So take care and peace.